Hey there, and welcome back to another Miraculous Ladybug retrospective review. And today we'll be talking about the episode Lady Wifi, which sees the debut of yet another one of the show's most iconic and recurring villains, when Alia is akumatized due to Chloe's machinations. And the last two times I've done this, I think for the most part the episodes were fairly decent. Stormy Weather and Evilistrator were actually fairly good, all things considered. But I'll admit, this one doesn't hold up as well under too much scrutiny. It's not like it's terrible, but it clearly suffers from a lot of early season weirdness. It's clear that they hadn't figured out how everything worked at this point in time, and it shows in the storyline, especially when it comes to how Miraculouses work. But anyway, if you want to refresh it before we get stuck into the episode, I'd watch it again now. And so, with all that being said, let's jump into the episode. So we start off in the school classroom following Alia, who, instead of paying attention to the instructions for their homework assignment, is cutting out the face of a picture of Ladybug and leaving behind the hair and body to try and figure out who Ladybug is by putting it over other people's faces. And for starters, I gotta give some respect to Alia's scissor work. But second up, why the hell would she think that of all the millions of potential people that it could be, they would just happen to be in her class? Also, is she kidding me with thinking it could be anyone in her class? None of them even have the hair, except for Marinette. I mean, not even close. And then you wouldn't even be able to figure it out the way she's doing it because she's relying on the face to help her out. But the problem is, Ladybug wears a domino mask. So how would this exercise even help Alia to figure out the identity? Smooth brain. Anyway, just before the class ends, Miss Bustier questions whether Marinette is still in the girls' room. Jesus, do they think she's been taking a shit this whole time? And later on, Marinette says she missed half the day of school. Yikes. I can imagine the teacher going home to her partner and just having a good old laugh about poor constipated Marinette. I know I would. Alia's then given Marinette's homework and told to give it to her, but can't find her anywhere. Marinette won't answer her phone. And so, as she walks through the locker room, she notices that Chloe has a bunch of items that suggest that she is in fact Ladybug. Ooh. And after once again failing to get in contact with Marinette, Alia chooses Nino of all people as her confidant. And this is pre-relationship, so hell yeah, gotta love some narrative foreshadowing. So anyway, the two of them chill and watch a news clip of the aftermath of Ladybug and Cat Noir saving a kid, and then Alia decides to tell Nino that Chloe is Ladybug. And if this was true, bit of a dick move all things considered, just blabbing the identity straight away. Why would you expose them if you're supposedly a fan? You'd just end up putting a hero who does good things in danger. Honestly, this is such a selfish thing to do. Anyway, Nino rightfully laughs at her, and then she still manages to rope him into her schemes anyway. And at this point, we cut to Ladybug, who's free running over rooftops before de-transforming in the middle of the day, in the middle of the street, in central Paris. But luckily, there's somehow nobody around to see this. No cars, no people, no one looking out of windows. Pfft. Anyway, she then talks about how she missed an entire half day at school. And this made me think that in the news report, Cat Noir was there at the scene, defeating the villain with her. But then, he was also in class the whole time too. Are you telling me that she was fighting a villain for hours and then Adrian turns up at the last second to get some credit? Man, I'd be pretty mad if I was her, if I'm being honest. He left her out in the cold. Marinette then gets home and reads a note from Alia, which says that she knows who Ladybug is. And for once in her life, instead of panicking, Marinette is actually quite reasonable and just assumes Alia's full of shit. Although I did find it a bit rich for Marinette to claim that Alia jumps to conclusions too fast. I mean, pot meets kettle, anyone? Anyway, she tries to contact Alia, but she has no signal because the city's doing maintenance on all the cell towers in the city somehow. Really? Also convenient that this one is right next to her room. And of course, it's the one that's being worked on. And I know they say it's the whole neighborhood down, but how? Surely one of the other towers further away can still reach her. But anyway, she goes down to work on her homework and then sleeps in. And come on, I know that people need to be accountable for their actions, but are you serious her parents were just going to let her sleep? Don't they both work in the bakery that is attached to the house just downstairs? Wouldn't they think, oh, I haven't seen Marinette come by to go to school yet, maybe we should check on her? Nah? Just gonna let her sleep in? God, it's been over an hour since her school started. No one even checked. And back at the school, Alia and Nino enact their plan to see if Chloe really is Ladybug, which sees Alia caught by Sabrina taking a photo of the inside of Chloe's locker, whilst Kim acts like a big old meathead. Man, talk about character growth. He goes from the classic jock bully to being friends with the nerd. That's some growth right there. So the bully's reported to the principal, who initially does nothing, until Chloe threatens him by pretending to call her father to get her initially an hour of detention, until it's upgraded to a week's suspension. Man, this guy just has no spine at all. What the hell could the mayor even do? Aren't schools governed by the Ministry of Education in France, which is under the federal government? I find it hard to believe that they would somehow be impacted in their decision making by the mayor of Paris. Surely, right? I mean, in Australia, nobody gives a shit about the mayor of anywhere. So this is always so jarring to me when people act like these guys are a big deal. Oh well. I guess I can believe it, but whatever. And so, enter Hawkmoth, who sends out his evil Akuma and infects Alia, turning her into Lady Wifi. Meanwhile, Marinette sneaks into class, but after hearing that Alia was suspended, ends up getting sent to the principal's office for calling a scene. Oh, and she also hears that Chloe is secretly Ladybug. And yeah, fair enough. She did deserve to get sent out. The teacher gave her a warning. Class disruptors are so annoying. And also, once again, isn't this episode set chronologically after Evilistrator? So since Lady Wifi appears in his comic, did Hawkmoth get a copy of that comic and steal the character design? Ah, plagiarism, Gabe! For shame. And also, how could Adrian believe, even for a second, if this is set after Evilistrator, even for a brief moment, that Chloe could possibly be Ladybug, when he's literally seen them side by side in the same room? There's so much smooth brainery today. But back to Marinette, and she stumbles across Mr. Damocles, who's been frozen by Lady Wifi, who then plays a video calling him out. Marinette then transforms into Ladybug after uttering one of the cheesiest lines in the history of the show.
You're going to have to fight your best friend! Nope, I'm gonna have to save my best friend.
Anyway, does Mr. Damocles also freeze in his mind? Is he still, conscious? Is he aware? Because if he is, wouldn't he now know her secret? And even if he is aware, which he isn't, because otherwise in the Owl episode he'd just win easily, this is still a big risk to take. She doesn't know he's unconscious. She just transforms right in front of him. And I mean, is there no CCTV in this office? What if somebody checks it and sees this? Marinette needs to work on these critical thinking skills. It's honestly a miracle she hasn't been unmasked yet, based on the first 3 episodes of this season. Adrian then transforms into Cat Noir and uses his staff to X-ray vision into Chloe's bedroom. Creeper much? What if she was in the shower, dude? Or getting changed? Come on. Also, does he ever actually use this power again? I honestly can't think of another instance of this ever happening. Oh well. Added to the list of Cat Noir's awesome discarded powers like his night vision. And also, wouldn't it have clicked in Marinette's head that if Cat Noir had already arrived here to stake out Chloe's house, that means he thought that Chloe could be Ladybug, and therefore, he had to have heard what happened at the school. And so therefore, he must be in their class, or at least attend the school too. Same with Adrian. Otherwise, why the hell would Ladybug be there? They must both know that Lady Wifi is going to come after Chloe. And they could only know that if they go to the school. And yet they don't figure it out? Also, come on Adrian, she clearly has blonde hair, and Ladybug clearly has, I don't know, is her hair meant to be blue, or is this a cinematic choice to make her stand out? Look, it's probably black, but whatever. Point is, opposite hair colours, mate. Come on. Yeah, I know, magical quantum masking, but they literally talk later in this episode, in this very frickin' episode, how Adrian looks like Cat Noir, and they emphasise his hair. So clearly they do see the hair colours. It's not obscured by the quantum masking. So anyway, they stake out the house until dark, when Lady Wifi attacks Chloe and unmasks her publicly as Ladybug, at least until the real Ladybug turns up and ruins it. Then they battle Lady Wifi, and they try to lead her to the basement, where there's no reception. And that doesn't quite work out, and so they battle in the dining room of the hotel instead, with Cat Noir getting KO'd like a premium chump, whilst Ladybug does all the work, as is tradition. Ladybug then gets locked in the kitchen with Wifi, whilst Cat Noir somehow instantly summons the building plans to figure out how to get in there. Once again, is this power ever used again? It feels very useful, considering how often they seem to get locked inside these big sprawling buildings and labyrinths and need to find where they're going. Back in the kitchen though, Lady Wifi manages to pin Ladybug up against a wall and tries to steal her mask, but she can't, to which Ladybug utters the glorious phrase, "It's magic, duh." And that actually did make me laugh. Although why the hell does Hawkmoth then tell her to let her use her lucky charm? Are you serious? In Evilistrator, she defeated the villain with a bouncy ball. Come on, don't let her use the lucky charm. I'm pretty sure you can steal a Miraculous that's currently in use. Are you telling me he doesn't know this? First thing I would have done, if I got a Miraculous, is freaking experiment with it. See how it works. God damn it, Gabe. You could have won here. A smooth brain. Oh, and then Cat Noir arrives, and he does nothing, and he gets KO'd again and lands in the freezer. Oh, and his Miraculous somehow falls off. Okay. Sure, but don't worry. This doesn't impact the plot of the episode at all, and there are no consequences to this. It's just there to eat up minutes of the episode and provide some tension. Also, English dub translators / writers, stop making Lady Wifi say, well, well, every 5 lines. Well, 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 well. I get it. You're a conniving evil villain, just shh. But anyway, whilst Ladybug does some MacGyver shit with a microwave to free Cat Noir, Adrian gets his ring back and becomes Cat Noir again. And poor Plag became a popsicle. And so Cat Noir heads to the roof and manages to destroy the cell tower and kill Lady Wi-Fi's reception, but he still gets whooped in a hand-to-hand battle. And that is 3 whoopings. I repeat, 3 whoopings for Cat Noir in one episode. Poor dude taking L's left and right. Good thing Ladybug is there to save him, and then they abandon Alia on the roof. Nice. And then, after a brief scene where Cat Noir's tempted to see who Ladybug really is, we finish off with a scene where Marinette unleashes her inner Creepazoid and brings out the claws because Alia has committed the deadly sin of having too many pictures of Adrian on her phone. I know, right? What a home wrecker. And so, that's the end of the episode. Not terrible, but not as good as the first 2, I have to say. And my god, Cat Noir just looks so pathetic so far this season. But yeah, those have just been my opinions, and now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the episode? You like it, hate it, cringe-tastic? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.